In 1970, at this very station, a classic British film was born. Based on E Nesbit's 1906 novel The Railway Children, this is Oakworth Station, and we're going to walk in the steps of the Railway Children. The Keighley and Worth Valley Railway cuts right through West Yorkshire in Bronte country, a wonderful 5-mile historic railway line preserved in the Edwardian era, running from Oxenhope to Keighley. The station we are standing on is Oakworth, presented almost exactly as it was seen during filming of The Railway Children that took place here in 1970. For those not familiar with the book, it centres around 3 middle-class children that arrive here from London with their mother after their father is sent to prison for spying. Moving to the country, they settle into a run-down house called the Three Chimneys near the railway and struggle to make ends meet. They befriend Albert Perks, the local station porter, and a smart old gentleman they wave to daily on a passing train. Their adventures unfold around the station until the old gentleman is able to help them prove their father's innocence, and he is returned to the family in the final heartwarming scenes at Oakworth Station. This is the station master's office, from where he can issue tickets, monitor the arrivals and departures, and keep warm in front of the fire. A ladies' waiting room that was actually used in the film as Perks' porter's office. Our train is due in a few minutes, but there is just time to show you where Perks lived. If you cross over the railway, the first White House, 60 Station Road, was used for filming. Perks was played by Bernard Cribbins. The children arrived here for his birthday celebration with gifts they had collected in the village. It looks a little bit different now, cleaner and with a protruding front door. Back on the platform, Peter stole coal from the station yard to keep the family warm. This area, now full of spares and junk, was the location of the white-lined coal pile. This small pile, a reminder of that part of the film. Let's greet the 10:09 to Keighley now, and our present-day station master to prepare the way by closing the gates and setting the signal to green. In real life, the railway opened in 1867, thanks in the main to wealthy local mill owners, and would be part of the Midland Railway until 1923, when it was absorbed into the London, Midland and Scottish Railways. Upon nationalisation in 1948, it was part of British Railways, but by the early 1960s, a decline in passengers due to the car saw the branch line close. The locals opposed the closure and formed a preservation society, and with a great deal of hard work, the volunteers managed to reopen the branch line in 1968. You can book tickets, see pricing and timetables for the railway on this website. We have reached the passing point on the 5-mile line. A single token, the driver is just grabbing now, controls the next section of track. Only one train can have the token, and so it ensures that no other train can be on the single track ahead. Chugging along the track, we pass the only request stop on the line, Damems, a wooded area for walks. If you want to stop here, you'll need to let the guard know when boarding. If you buy a Rover ticket, you can jump on and off the train at any of the stations, have a look around and catch the next one up or down the line. Our starting point was Oakworth, in the middle of the line. We started there just to have the station to ourselves in the early morning. It's a popular stop for the railway children later in the day. We are now approaching Ingrow West Station. The original building fell into disrepair when the line closed, and so a replacement was brought here brick by brick and rebuilt from Fowlridge Station in Lancashire when that closed in 1971. Our destination is now Keighley, just under 1.25 miles away. The train stops at Keighley for about 30 minutes on today's timetable. There are different timetables and frequencies of trains depending on the day and the time of the year. Keighley is the northern terminus of the line and connects to the National Railway network. It's close to the town centre if you wish to alight here and have a walk around town.
That's it.
We'll watch the engine being decoupled so it can move past the carriages and come back to the front of the train to take us back down the line to the other stations we've yet to see and some more of the railway children locations. Our loco is number 78022, built in 1954 at Darlington, working out of Millhouses Depot in Sheffield until it was retired in 1966 for scrap. The Worth Valley Railway bought it in 1975 and it remained in storage until the funds allowed for the full rebuild and returned to steam in 1992. It's had a few rebuilds since then, and most recently in 2018. As we pull out of Keighley, heading for the other end of the line and Oxenhope, spend a moment listening to this classic steam engine sound of years gone by. The scenery of West Yorkshire is quite splendid to see as we reminisce about the bygone era of steam. Animals, streams and rolling hills pass us by. Before long, we're back at the passing point, waiting for the diesel service to grab the token and allow us access to the other part of the line. We arrive back at Oakworth briefly, where many alight for this famous station. As we head out across the level crossing, we are approaching the tunnel used in the film during the paper chase scenes, where Jim runs through the tunnel, slipping over and damaging his leg, with Bobby, Peter and Phyllis coming to the rescue and taking him to the house. Just before that, on our left now, covered by trees, is where they waved at the trains. The tunnel appears much longer in the film. They used a tarpaulin at one end to achieve that. Coming out the other side on the right is where the landslip took place, requiring the girls to rip up their red petticoats to flag down the train. Around the next bend is the bridge used for the end credits, with the train covered in bunting and the cast waving. We are now approaching Haworth Station, famous in real life as the home of the three Bronte sisters, and a must stop on your train journey or for a visit afterwards. We'll jump out here at Haworth, as it was used for a few locations in the film. It's a 20-minute walk uphill into the village, following signs for the Bronte parsonage. Next to Haworth Church, you arrive at Dr. Forrest's house, which is in fact the former home of the Bronte family, where they wrote many of their famous novels. It's now a preserved museum. We'll learn more about Haworth and the Brontes in a future video, so do subscribe so you don't miss it. The children collected presents from locals for Perk's birthday, and this rundown property on Church Street was the village store and post office. On the corner of Main Street and Lodge Street, they collected a shovel from the ironmonger, and this was the butcher's. Various other shops were used in their travels to get gifts for Perks. Back on the train, we're now heading for Oxenhope and the southern terminus of the line. We pass the engine sheds as we steam out of Haworth. This is where they keep the locomotives overnight, and they restore rolling stock that they have acquired. This is the end of the line, and you can see the carriage sheds as we approach the station. The locomotive will again need to decouple and pass back to the other end of the train to take us on to our starting point and to complete a full run of the line from Oakworth. Of course, you may choose to start from Oxenhope or Keighley at either end of the line rather than in the middle as we did. Oxenhope does have a large car park if you've travelled by car. Two other filming locations can be reached by car not too far from Oxenhope. Let's first head to Wycoller, about a 20-minute drive away. Passing along some narrow roads and parking half a mile outside this tiny village, we can walk to where Bobby sat on the most beautiful bridge as Dr. Forrest passed in his horse and carriage crossing through the ford. It is a delightful place, and we'll show you more in a future video on this area. The Yorkshire home, the Three Chimneys, played a large part in the film, and so we wanted to try and get a glimpse of it. Parking in Marsh Lane, you can take a public footpath and approach the house from behind. Remembering to keep to the public footpath as this is someone's house, we tried to get a good view from what was the front of the house in the film. Sadly, it's very overgrown now, so a view was very hard to see. Also, here should be the tiny gap in the wall that Perks had so much trouble getting the food gift basket through. We almost missed it, but here it is after all this time, still the same. The train has now departed to take us back to Oakworth for our final stop of the day. Now is a good time to let you know that there is a circular walk you can do, taking in all of the sights we've seen today and more. It's called the Railway Children Walk, and we'll put a link to the website in the description so you can see the route around the local area. As we arrive back at Oakworth, let's tell you about what's coming in our next episode in Yorkshire. Next time we drive the stunning Yorkshire Dales, heading for Grassington and beyond, taking the roads you see in many and all creatures great and small episode. Grassington may be the backdrop to Darrowby, but there is so much more to discover in this tiny little town. We'll take a walk at the roaring Linton Falls and explore further into the Dales. Join us next time in James Herriot country.
Well, that's it. Hope you've enjoyed our trip on the railway today. It's been absolutely fantastic following the railway children on their journeys, following in their footsteps. We've got lots more like this on the channel, so do join us again. Do subscribe, give us a like and all those things. Thanks very much for watching. See you on the next one.